So I just finished recording a video literally like 15 minutes ago, and I was looking for a meme that I could set as the thumbnail, and I found this. And I got so pissed off that I came back to make this video because I have to make this now. This is the typical picture that you will find on Instagram. It's kind of the same stuff as I talked about in the 2080 video. So what this says is training effort. Have a few reps in reserve. And it shows two separate sides. The first side is every set to failure. And the first set is 10 reps. The second is 7 reps. And the third is 5 reps. And the sum of this is 22 reps. And on the other side, there is 1 to 3 reps in reserve, so 1 to 3 RIR, and set number 1 is 9 reps, set number 2 is 8 reps, and set number 3 is also 8 reps, and total volume is 25 reps, which is more by 3 reps than the first side. These are also marked by red and green, indicating obviously that the 25 reps is better because it's green than the other 22, because 22 is less than 25, so you did more reps, so you did better, right? No. And that's exactly why I'm pissed, because not all reps are the same. Now, first of all, if you would ask the old me, he would say, yeah, do 1 to 3 reps in reserve. If you ask the me that is now, I would say never fucking do 3 reps in reserve. I would say do 1 to 0 reps in reserve, usually 0, and do 1 on exercises like squats and bench press that kill you, and very fatiguing exercises like, again, squats and, for example, deadlifts, RDLs. But basically what the post says is that keeping a couple of reps in reserve is better, because this way your performance will not drop as much, and over 3 sets, for an example, you will do 3 more reps total in this case, which we will soon see is complete bullshit. But let's start now with hard reps. If you do 10 reps, you will see that probably the first 6 are not going to be hard, and the other 4 maybe. It depends on what exercise you're doing, because different exercises have different resistance profiles and they start being difficult at different phases. But usually if you do a 10 rep set to failure, the first 6 are not going to be hard at all. Even the 7th is not going to be hard, and then after that, like the 8th rep is going to get kind of hard, the 9th even harder, and the 10th is gonna be a grinder. And those reps are very valuable because they give you the most growth. And the last 3 reps of a 10 rep set taken to failure are not the same as the last 3 reps of a 10 rep set taken to 3 RIR. Let's say you do a 10 rep set to complete failure. Is the 5th rep of a 10 rep set going to be tough? Not really. Is the 6th rep gonna be tough? It's gonna be a bit tougher, but it's still not tough at all. The next rep is gonna be a bit tough, and then after that will it only get really tough. Now let's say you do the same weight, you only do 7 reps and it's 3 RIR, because you could have done 10 but you only did 7. Again, the 5th, the 6th and the 7th rep, they're not tough at all, and those were your last reps. Literally none of your reps were really tough. And don't even try to tell me that those reps are the same as the reps that we deleted from the end of the set. And especially don't try to tell me that the first rep is the same as the last. It isn't. But seemingly this post tries to tell me that. In the first example, this guy, on the first set he probably did like 3 tough reps. On the second he maybe only did 2, and on the third he also only did 2, because now we dropped the reps to 5, which I will touch on in a sec. But that basically means that, well, yeah, if you do 5 reps, I mean the first 3 are not gonna be that tough. So he did a total of 7 tough reps. Now the second one says 1 to 3 reps in reserve. The first one you got like 2 tough reps. On the second one you got maybe like 1, and on the last one you probably got again maybe 1. So you actually got a total of 4 hard reps, but probably not even that much. So yeah, you might have gotten more reps by 3, which actually doesn't even really matter that much. However, you did literally half of the amount of productive reps, or at least the most productive reps. But let's talk about the main thing that pisses me off in this post, and that is the drop-off on the first side. Yes, if you're putting enough effort into your sets, a drop-off in performance does happen. It should actually happen, but it shouldn't be from 10 reps to 7 reps, okay? Dropping 3 reps compared from the first set to the second set is maybe okay if you're doing like calf raises in the 20 to 30 rep range, and that's kind of more reasonable because you're doing higher reps and therefore more reps drop because you just simply somehow lose more performance, or at least that's my experience. But that's also why I don't really like that style of training, and also because mentally I just cannot bear it. I would rather do like 10 to 20. But when you're doing a 10 rep set to failure, your second set definitely shouldn't be 7 reps and your third definitely shouldn't be 5, okay? This guy literally cut his reps in half in 2 sets. That should never happen. If that happens, you probably have a really bad work capacity, which means that you should improve it by doing more cardio. But realistically, if you do a 10 rep set to failure, what will be the second set if you take that to failure as well? It could be 10 for some people. This will be different for everybody, take that into account. But I guess it could be 10 again, but it's probably more likely gonna be 9. It probably shouldn't be 8 though, and it definitely shouldn't be 7. Like, how the fuck did you lose 3 reps? If your work capacity is not shit and you rested enough, this can never happen. And when you think there's no more down from set 2 to set 3, you get from 7 to 5, which is not as significant of a performance drop, but if you realize what happened from the first set to the third, you literally cut your reps in half. If there's a weight that you can do 10 reps with, you should never do 5 reps with it. And so that's where this post actually really loses its purpose, because in the real life this doesn't work like that if you're doing things properly. Now, what I will say is performance usually drops more for me throughout sets when I take sets to failure in comparison to not actually failing but knowing that I won't be able to do another rep, so 0 RIR basically. So if I'm doing dumbbell preacher curls for an example, and I'm doing 9 reps on the first set, and I go for the 10th rep, but I don't get it, I fail, then my second set is probably going to be something like 7, maybe 8, but that's very optimistic, it's more like 7. But if I just stop at 9 reps, I still cannot do another rep, but I will not try to go for the 10th rep because I feel that it's probably not gonna happen. Then the next set is probably gonna be like either 9 reps again, honestly, or 8 reps. And that's still 0 RIR, so that's technically 2 failure, you just don't actually fail. And that way, there honestly shouldn't be a lot of performance drop. And that's why you will actually, in reality, get around the same amount of total reps. You will get a lot more very productive reps. And that's why training more intensely is better. And that's why this post doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Watch this video next to learn more about volume, and by the way, I actually also talk about intensity more here.